Am I the asshole for telling my sister to fuck off after she tried to ruin my wedding with her nonsense? Hey everyone, I'm Fiacre, and I've got a tale that's been eating at me for months. My fiancée, Neve, and I had been planning our dream wedding for over a year. We wanted everything to be perfect, from the venue to the flowers to the tiniest details on the invitations. We were so excited and just wanted a day that reflected our love and commitment to each other. Now, I've got a younger sister, Aisling. She's always been the dramatic one in the family, the kind who somehow makes every event about herself. We all sort of just tolerated it because, well, she's family. But as our wedding day approached, her behavior started to spiral out of control. About 2 months before the wedding, Aisling pulled me aside during a family dinner. She had this serious look on her face and whispered, "Fiacre, we need to talk, alone." We stepped outside, and she began ranting about how she needed to be more involved in the wedding planning. She said she felt left out and unappreciated. I tried to reassure her that we loved her and valued her input, but Neve and I had everything under control. But of course, Aisling being Aisling, this wasn't enough. She started showing up unannounced to our house, offering unsolicited advice, and even trying to change things we'd already finalized. It was annoying, but we tried to brush it off. One day, Neve and I were at our favorite cafe, going over the seating chart, when Aisling barged in, almost knocking over a waiter in her haste. "Why wasn't I consulted on this?" she demanded, pointing at our seating chart. "You put me at table 8. I should be at table 1 with the family." Neve, ever the peacekeeper, calmly explained, "Aisling, table 8 is right next to table 1. We thought it would be nice for you to be with some of your friends too." But Aisling wasn't having it. She stormed out of the cafe, causing a scene and leaving us embarrassed and stressed. That was just the beginning of her antics. She called our vendors, trying to change the flower arrangements, and even attempted to switch our caterer because she knew someone better. It all came to a head at my bachelor party. My best friend Kian had organized a low-key night with just a few close friends. We were having a great time until Aisling showed up, drunk and belligerent. She started ranting about how we were excluding her and how she should have been the one planning the party. Kian, bless him, tried to calm her down, but she just screamed at him to mind his own business. That's when I lost it. I told her to leave, and she called me a selfish prick before stumbling out. My mates and I were left in stunned silence, the mood completely ruined. The day of the wedding finally arrived, and despite the chaos, Neve and I were determined to enjoy it. Everything was perfect. The weather, the venue, the decor. It was exactly how we had envisioned it. As I stood at the altar, waiting for Neve, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. This was it. We were finally getting married. Then, just as the ceremony was about to start, Aisling made her grand entrance. She was late, of course, and not just a little late. She walked in, loudly talking on her phone, drawing all eyes to her. She was wearing a dress that was almost white, something we had explicitly asked her not to do. I could see Neve's face tighten as she noticed. "Sorry I'm late, everyone," Aisling announced, as if she were the bride. The officiant looked at me, unsure whether to continue. I nodded for him to proceed, hoping to get through the ceremony without further drama. But Aisling had other plans. Just as Neve started her vows, Aisling's phone rang, loudly, and she answered it, right there in the middle of our ceremony. "Hey, no, I can talk. Just at my brother's wedding," she said, turning her back to us and pacing a few steps away. I saw red. I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm for Neve's sake, but it was impossible. This was our moment, and Aisling was ruining it. I turned to her and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Aisling, for fuck's sake, hang up the damn phone." She turned back, a look of shock on her face, as if I was the one being unreasonable. She hung up, but the damage was done. The beautiful moment we had planned was tainted by her selfishness. The rest of the ceremony went off without a hitch, but I was simmering inside. During the reception, I avoided Aisling, trying to focus on enjoying the night with Neve and our guests. But Aisling wasn't done causing trouble. During the speeches, she decided to give an impromptu toast. She grabbed the microphone and started slurring through some incoherent ramble about how she was so happy for us, but it quickly turned into a rant about how she felt left out and unappreciated. I just think it's really shitty that my own brother doesn't want me involved, she said, tears streaming down her face. I couldn't take it anymore. I stood up, took the microphone from her, and said, Aisling, you need to stop. This is not about you. This is our wedding. Please, just sit down and let us enjoy our night. She looked at me with pure hatred in her eyes, muttered something under her breath, and stormed out of the reception hall. Everyone was staring, the festive mood shattered. I felt awful, but I couldn't let her ruin our night any further. Neve and I tried to salvage the evening, dancing and celebrating with our friends and family, but Aisling's outburst was the elephant in the room, and I knew we'd have to deal with it sooner or later. In the days following the wedding, I received countless messages from family members, all with their opinions on the situation. Some thought I was too harsh on Aisling, while others believed she had it coming. My parents were upset, saying I should have been more understanding of her feelings, but honestly, I was done with understanding. Neve and I sat down to talk about it, and we agreed that we needed to set some boundaries with Aisling. She couldn't keep sabotaging important moments in our lives. I called Aisling and asked her to meet for coffee. When she showed up, she looked defensive, arms crossed and a scowl on her face. Aisling, I need you to understand how your actions affected us, I began. This was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives, and you turned it into a circus. She scoffed. Oh, so it's all my fault now? You didn't even care about my feelings. I took a deep breath, trying to keep my cool. It's not that we don't care, but you made everything about you. You ruined the ceremony, the reception, and caused so much stress. We can't keep doing this. She sat there in silence for a moment, then finally said, I just wanted to feel included. You and Neve have been so wrapped up in each other. I felt like I was losing you. I sighed. Aisling, we love you, but you need to respect our boundaries. This behavior isn't healthy for any of us. We talked for a while longer, and while it wasn't a perfect resolution, it was a start. I made it clear that things needed to change if we were going to have a healthy relationship. Now, months later, Aisling and I are still working on our relationship. It's a slow process, but I'm hopeful. Neve and I are happily married, and despite the drama, our wedding day is still one of my favorite memories. So, Reddit, AITA for telling my sister to fuck off? I'm still trying to figure it all out, but one thing's for sure, family can be complicated as hell.